So I was a little disappointed, but I read it nonetheless, and the first line of the pamphlet was, Jesus was a carpenter. What? That's a pretty big promotion, don't you think? From a carpenter to Jesus Christ, fictional Lord of the free world? Are you kidding me? And then I got to thinking, wait, Jesus was a carpenter? So I wonder if, like, a week before Jesus was crucified, a couple, like, Romans walked into his wood shop and were like, "You're Jesus Christ, right?" And they're like, yeah, I am. What's up? And they're like, I have a question for you. He's like, my son? Because he was calling people my son back then, obviously. My son, what you have to ask? And they're like, you think you could build me a cross? And Jesus, he was an amazing guy, but he had literally no foresight at all. He goes, yeah, sure, it shouldn't take that long at all. So the guy's like, perfect. And Jesus goes, how big do you want it to be? And the guy goes, think you could stand up straight for a second? Jesus is like, yeah, I mean, I guess so. God's watching down, oh, son, you idiot. And Jesus stands up straight and he goes, can you hold your arms out like this for a second? Just real quick. Make an agonizing face, really. Perfect. So Jesus goes, it shouldn't be a problem. And the guy goes, he's on his way out, and he goes, what do you think the turnaround on one of those things are? And he goes, well, I have a pretty big supper with some of my apostle friends in about a week, but about 7-8 days. So the guys are going, fantastic, they're on their way out, and they're going to turn around real quick. Can I borrow a couple of nails? She's like, sure. Jesus was obviously not a very bright guy. So we're all growing up, and someone more than others is my sister. I have a younger sister. She's still in high school, but she's starting to drink and party with her friends and do all that jazz. And I heard my dad go to my sister the other day. She goes, Lindsay, sit down for a second. Before she's going out one night. Sit down for a second. There's something I want to tell you. Something my parents told me when I was younger, when I was a kid. There's a little phrase. Saying that you could work on. And she goes, when you go out, just remember, liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor makes you sicker. And I heard that and I thought, my dad's been out of the loop for a while now. And there's some scary things going on with teenage girls nowadays. It's scary for teenage girls because people, Rooflin and all these other drugs that make them pass out, and so you can have sex with them really easily, and like, there's like a lot of crazy shit going on. So I thought, like, if I had a daughter, I think I'd be like a little more strict with like. So I call my daughter. I'm gonna go, daughter, sit down. There's a phrase my dad taught to my sister, and I don't think it worked. So I have a new phrase for you, and it's liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, and the probability of you passing out early and getting raped by one of your guy friends is greatly increased. Have a good night. And as much as girls are starting to drink, tonight I really intended to do a joke about fat girls. But I figured that'd be. I really don't mean to offend anybody, so I don't want to be offensive. And there's something about telling a fat girl joke that's different than other jokes. It's really hard to preface a fat girl joke with an apology. It's not like telling a black joke where you can be like, yeah, I'm friends with plenty of black people. I know a ton of black guys. It's fine. Blah blah blah. Because when you can't really say, yeah, I know plenty of fat girls. Because all your fat girlfriends are thinking, oh my god, what a fucking asshole. Like, I can't believe I canceled this show. What the I paid $2 for he's calling me fat. So, there's a bit more of a gray area when telling fat girl jokes. So I'm not gonna tell. But the other night, like a couple of weeks ago, actually it was this summer. I'm lying to you all. I was coming home to the city with this girl I had met, and it was like a first date or whatever. And we were getting along real great. And on the train home, she tells me how over the course of college she kind of lost touch with her parents. And I thought that was kind of sad. Like I'm still pretty close with my parents. I'm generally pretty close with my parents. And on the train home, she was sitting there like, I gave her my cell phone. She was playing Tetris. So she was playing Tetris, and this is after 20 minutes of me explaining how close I am with my mom. A text message comes through to my phone, and she's on my phone at this point. And she goes, "Oh, you got a text from your mom?" And I go, "What does it say?" You read it for me. And she opened it, and the look of horror that came over her face was maybe 4 times as terrifying for me, because I had no idea what my mom could have said to this girl to make her like look like she just saw like 15,000 children killed in like a bus accident. Like she was fucking petrified. And this is why I think that just as 17-year-olds should take a driving test to make sure they're ready to get their license. I think people over 45 should take some sort of text message competency test. Because dangerous things could happen when you mistext people. So I'm looking at her and she's looking at me, and she, like, I'm like John Wayne Gacy. I'm like a fucking like disgusting like human being. What my mom, I read the text later, what my mom meant to say was, Jason, make sure you set your clock before you go to sleep tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for me to get you up in the morning. What my mom did say was, Jason, make sure you pet your cock before you go to sleep tonight. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard for me to get you up in the morning. And I swear to God, I really think people should really put more effort into their text messages. And this is the last story I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to get slightly serious with you guys for a second. This past summer, this is not really funny at all. But this is a comedy show, so I'll try to say it as comical as possible. My best friend's grandpa died this summer. And I don't know if any of you know anything about dead Jews, but we do this thing called a Shiva call. And what a Shiva call is a bunch of the friends and family of the Morning family gather around in their house, and there's a lot of free deli meat and desserts. And you know what? Because who doesn't love a dead Jew? It's okay, I know plenty of dead Jewish people, so it's fine for me to tell that joke. But I arrived at this house. And I gotta tell you, I'm driving to the Shiva call. I'm about to pay my respects, and I get a text message from my friend, and he goes, "Yeah, so my grandma lives in Avalon Apartments, 1301. Just go in, I'll be there, blah blah blah." So I get to apartment 1301. I go in, and there's only an old lady sitting there, and I think, fuck. You never want to be the first person at a Shiva call. It's like, it's terrible. So I'm there with the wife of this deceased old man, and I'm like, hey, I'm Adam's friend, his roommate. I'm really terribly sorry about your loss. And she goes, "My loss?" I'm like, "Yeah, your husband passed away, a heart attack, and right?" And she goes, "What?" I said, yeah, I mean, I heard Adam told me. She goes, and I thought that the form her grief was taking led her in that direction. Like, I thought like any reference to her husband or anything like that made her cry, and it was really terrible. So I'm like, okay, I'll be a shoulder she could cry on for a little bit. So I sat down next to her at the dinner table, and it was just me and her for a while. And I'm like, it's really, he was a good guy, like, I'm sure. I didn't know, but pretty decent liar. But I'm sure he was a good guy. Blah, blah, and she goes, oh, he was the best. He was the best. The best. I can't believe it. I can't believe how it happened. I said to him after dinner, and he had a heart attack. I'm like, yeah, that's what I heard. He had a heart attack. And she goes, it's so shocking. It's so shocking. I feel like I just left them 20 minutes ago. And then, after about 5 minutes of consoling this 76-year-old woman about the death of her husband, I get a text message from my friend Adam. And I've saved this because it literally changed my life forever. The text said, hey man, I'm really sorry. In my first text, I said the apartment was 1301. It's 1303. So for 20 minutes, I was consoling a woman over the loss of her dead husband, who had not yet died. And the second I got that text message, her husband walked in the door. And she was sitting there like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on? My dead husband is here! There's something I have to tell you. But your husband's not dead. And then I just slowly walked in. I'm Jason Blackman. Thank you very much for coming.